Hey guys, so welcome to this video, and this video is about how to use the Android Lab Toolkit. Is a tool for routing your Android emulator and pushing system certificates, and I also added other features to it, like installing JADX, installing ADB on Windows and in Linux, and other stuff. So the initial version of this application was just for the Linux, and it just did one thing, which was root and push system certificates, right? So what I now did was now updated the Windows batch file, added a Windows batch file that does for Windows 2, and makes it quite easy, because a lot of learners and a lot of even pros to have issues installing tools on Windows. So that's why this file is here, right? So what do we do now is we'll confirm. So if I do cmd here, so this Windows, I use Linux actually, and this Windows is on a VMware, right? So if I do ADB here, you see it's not recognized. If I do emulator, nothing. Frida, nothing. What else? APKTool, right? Nothing is on here. So the first things first is we would download the zip file. So extract it. Okay, so extract, and then we'll start our way, working our way here, right? So the certificates folder here holds this system set. Please do not delete this, right? And also holds a port trigger certificate. You can replace this with any other certificates you might want, e.g. man in the middle proxy certificate, cardio certificate, or any other thing that you might want to have on this, right? So it push all certificate, but for this example I put a port trigger certificate here by default. You can replace it with whatever you want. So to start the Windows file, you run as administrator, and yes, so let's get started. Want to start by installing JADX. We don't have JADX on this system. JADX nowhere to be found, right? Let's look at other places too. We'll go to PC, Windows. There's no JADX here, right? There's no JADX here. All right, so let's start by installing JADX quickly. Or should I do ADB? Okay, let's start with ADB first. We'll do JADX later. So ADB is quite simple to install. Just select the tool you want, and ADB is already on the system. As simple as that. So to confirm that, let's go to PowerShell. I want to run PowerShell now. Wait for it for a moment. So we'll do ADB, and you can see ADB is now on this device, right? So the next one we'll be using APKTool. So let me clear this. So if I do APKTool here, you see it's not on this device, right? So for as simple as it is, we just do 3, make your choice, install APKTool, and now we have to install Java, right? So press any key to continue. All right, so we'll go to java.com to install Java. That's just the caveat for that. Java.com, you can see it's a brand new emulator, right? Everything is here. Download Java for desktop, and then we would install as quickly as we can. Okay, open, double click. Yes, please. Java is a free to download tool, so do not, if it's not java.com, please don't install. Always watch where you're installing from. All tools you see are downloaded from verified sources, right? So give it a few minutes, and that will be installed. All right, so install. So go back to our tool, and then make the 3 choice again, which is install APKTool, right? Okay, Let me see. Okay, so let me restart that. Go back again to the Android Toolkit, run again. So I think it's still working with the old memory. I don't know if it's old memory now, but let's make that again. Yes, you can see Java is installed. To download the APK file, fetch it from GitHub and download from GitHub i.ptris APKTool.jar, right? So you can see it's quite fast, right? It doesn't let you go do your research. I've done the research for you, right? So it just installs it, adds it to parts, right? It verifies the installation, adds it to parts, and that's all, right? So wait a little bit. So let's confirm this APK tool. So do this again. Okay, let me do this. PowerShell. Yeah, you can see the APK tool has already been installed, right? So it's quite simple as that. So it might take a time to verify installation, but for now I'll end this batch file. So before you see this video, I would have updated this verification script. Why it takes so long to verify, right? All right, so I'll close this and then start over again. Before the video goes on YouTube, by the time you're watching this video, that would have already been fixed, right? So we want to now install JADX, right? Install JADX. So we'll select one and it will download JADX from the official JADX GitHub API, right? And then give it a few minutes, download JADX and all. So for the other part, which is the routing of emulator, installing system certificate, I'll be doing it on my Linux. And the reason why is because this Windows is sitting on a VM machine, an Android Studio emulator. An emulator cannot run inside an emulator, right? So I have to do it on my bare metal machine for you to see, but it's basically the same thing, the same features, right? So give this a little bit of time and then to download, extract, and then push it. I would always recommend you press yes for this, right? So it's recommended, but I did not want to push it without your permission, right? So move it to Windows jadx-gui because it's downloaded on your download folder and you might mistakenly delete it, right? When you delete this, JADX will not work anymore. So I recommend you pushing it to your Windows/Windows folder, and when that is done, it's here. So let's confirm that it will launch JADX by itself, and JADX is launching. You can open any APK file you want, but I don't have any APK file right here, right? So we'll close this. One thing I advise is that when you go to the place where it's moved APK tool, which is your Windows, you can see JADX here now, jadx-gui. So what I recommend is right click and then pin it to start, right? So at every single point in time you can call JADX from here. So it's quite simple as that. So for the other part, we would go to the Linux part now to run that, to root our emulator and install system certificates. All right, so these are my machines on my emulator, and right, so what we're about to do now is that we want to install Linux rootkit. You can see it's basically the same thing on both Windows and Linux. Install jadx, install Frida tools, and all that stuff, right? So right now we want to root an emulator. I'll be rooting this emulator test Magisk tool with Magisk, right? So let me get it started. I don't need to start it actually, but okay, yeah, okay. So like I said earlier, you can't run two virtual devices here, so I would shut this down quickly as possible, right? So we have to turn off our Windows. Okay, wait for our emulator to boot up. All right. So this is his first launch, right? I wiped the system data entirely just to give you that feel that okay, this is a production-based emulator, right, with Google Play and all, right? It's not rooted. It's not rooted. So let's let it wait a little bit. All right. So you can see from here, it's a new build, right? Windows, I said Windows, Play Store, everything is just here, just sitting on it. So let's get rooting. So for this, we have to just root an emulator, right? And it has already detected the emulator, no root detected, proceeding with rootAVD. What does this mean? It means that it has detected it, the device is not rooted by default, so, and it's proceeding with by rooting it, right? So it's going to download rootAVD and push Magisk to this by default. Let's just watch how it does that. Right, in about 2 minutes, this device is rooted. Please make sure you have a strong internet connection when using this tool, right? It by default is going to select the stable version, which is 1. But if you want any one, you can select 2 or 3. But I'm going to leave it for it to just select by itself, right? And so you wait for the device to shut down, and it's going to go down by itself. So when it does that, we just have to press enter, and it's going to restart the emulator for you. So restarting the emulator, because of most persons have quick fingers, right? You might press enter before the emulator is done. I don't want that mistake, right? So I would wait for and because of also different devices vary, the way my emulator boots up might be quite different from the way your emulator boots up. So if I give it a timeout, right, it doesn't really make sense. So I decided to make it, when it's done, when it's fully booted, right, when you can see the screen, you come in here and type boot. Right, so we have it fully booted. Magisk is here already. Boot. Now it will launch Magisk to confirm that it has been rooted. Allow. Now let me do that again. Okay. By default, your device has already been rooted. Whatever you are doing now is now what do you call it? It's just checkpoints, right? It's just checkpoints now. Your device has been rooted already, right? So is that simple? It's that simple. So wait for this. So grant Magisk super user when prompted, let the system reboot, wait for additional 10 minutes. After reboot, do not press enter until the emulator has fully booted, right? So it's just that, and your device has been booted. So press enter and you go back. So for this, I would quit this first and then put ADB, shell, and SU. Grant, and that's all. You have a rooted device. So if I say who am I, root, right? Rooted already. So let's push system certificates to this, right? Let's push system sets to this now. So by default, let me show you something. I don't have any file here, neither do I have any file here. Why is it hanging? Okay, not do I have any file here. Okay, yeah. So, and if I go to my settings, privacy, go to more security settings, encrypted, trusted CA sets. In user sets, there's nothing. In system sets, you can see, let me show you, MNOP, there's no port figure here. So so what we are going to do is we are going to now select the tool again and then install system certificates. So what we're going to do is this. It has seen, so you have two options: install via Magisk, install via system partition more than 110 and plus. So I'll choose to install via Magisk. I want to choose to install via Magisk, right? So one, select, and it's going to download the Magisk module, and then what you now do is go back here, install the certificate. This is where you need it basically, and then you see your port trigger certificate here. Select that, and after you've done that, just press enter. It will reboot the emulator. Let me just press boot down. All right. So now that we're here, we can now press boot and then it's done. So let's confirm this now. All right, we'll go to security and privacy. Then let's see trusted user certificates. We have one here. Then let's see if we have one in system certificates. Yes, we do. So this has already been rooted, and also we've also installed system certificate by default. So what you now do is, by default yourself, if you have any other certificates here, you want to push them to certificates, right? That's why I have the port trigger certificate here by default. But if you want to replace this with yours, you can do that. See this. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to shut down this emulator, and I want to install system certificate via Google APIs. So Google APIs devices are rooted by default, right? They do not have Google Play Store in the emulator. So what we are going to do is run this, and then we would say, now watch this, root emulator, right? I want to use Google API for this. Now if the device is already rooted, to tell you, oh, this is a Google Play build, and then it's not going to root it for you, because by default this device is already root. But this device does not have system certificate, so we're going to install system certificate, but this time by system partition, right? We're going to use the system partition for that. Okay, so when that is up, once that is up, we're going to press build. So again, this is first launch, so that's why it's taking a couple of minutes here. All right. All right, I think that's done, waiting for it to properly. All right, so you can see this one. Okay, this has Google Play APIs. Okay, that's weird. Okay, so let me make that boot. So no rooting detected, it's going to root it by default. But if it was detected, I thought I was using Google Play APIs here, it's going to root it again, right? And it's really that simple, right? It's really that simple. Okay, but this time what I would do with this, after it has rooted it, it's going to install system certificates, and for the system certificates I will use the system partition for that, right? Use system partition for that. So it's two ways on how to install your system certificate, right? So press enter on that, and it's going to restart the emulator. Oh, I downloaded Android 16. I thought it was. So now check this. This one that we rooted earlier was Android 15. This is Android 16. You can see it roots any level of Android. This API 35, this API 36.1. Right, you can see it's quite easy, right? It's really quite easy. Anyone under 2 minutes, you're done rooting that device, right? You're done rooting that device. Magisk is installed, right? The way Magisk is installed, just know that you have installed, like we are done installing, right? You're done installing. So while this is restarting, we would wait for it to restart actually. So we would install Vice system certificates. All right, completed. Now what we want to do is we want to install system certificates, and I want to install via system partition. Right, this is for, like I said earlier, this is for below below Android 9. Right, this is for modern APIs, Android 10 and plus. So we'll go 2 and hold on, system set installer. Okay, so I know, let me rename this for this purpose of this. By the time you're watching this video, this would have been corrected. Right, so we'll start again, 6 and 2, and now you can see it has found that for just the namespace stuff. So again, we'll go back and install by install a certificate, install CA certificate, install anyway, and we go to here. Burp Suite is already pushed here. So let's confirm this, right? So let's say trusted certificates. So this is port trigger. Let's go to, this is quite the easiest one for me to do. So you can see there is no port trigger here. So I'll just remain here and enter grant, and it has already been installed. Go back, check it again, and this time you would see port trigger certificate there. So whichever method you choose out of those two would definitely work. So thank you very much for watching the video. Hope, okay, all right, I think the remaining one is for us to install Frida tools here. So if we don't have Frida here, let me confirm that for you. We don't have Frida on this device. If I do adb shell su cd slash data slash local slash tmp ls, there is no Frida here. So what we're going to do is that we want to install Frida on this device, right? So what we'll do is 3 install Frida tools. Frida is already on my CLI, so it's going to download Frida and push to this device, right? So take a few minutes. It always download the latest release from GitHub with this version, here. So let me see. Give it a few minutes, or a few seconds actually. All right, so that is done. That was shell and Frida works. So let's check here, ls. You can see Frida server is now on it. If I quit this 7 quit and I do Frida psua, you can see Magisk is installed and all that is installed. Quite easy. You don't have to crack your brain, you don't have to do anything, right? Just simple and easy. All right, so thank you very much for watching this video. I'll be back with more tools later, or probably to update this as we update ourselves in the, okay, I think I'm tired now. Yeah, cheers.